Just some basic housekeeping. Some basic housekeeping before we begin. Please mute your microphones all along, and especially when others are reading. Feel free to keep your videos on if you like, and the chat box is open for comments and conversations. It is a special day today. It's been 5 years since the inception of the Women Empowered India group, helmed by our extraordinary friend Somrita Bhowmik. Smita, who I'm actually very fortunate to call my friend, has been instrumental in bringing us together. You know, whenever I'm in a room with you wonderful ladies, even if it's only in a virtual room, I feel so supported and heard and valued as a woman and as a female writer. And I think Smita has a big contribution in that process. So thank you, Smita, for this initiative and for 5 years of untiring work for the Indian English poetry community. Please join me in congratulating We India today. We are here for poetry, so I will restrict myself from being too eloquent this evening and just let the transformative beauty of verses do all the talking. I'm going to quickly see if Lily is here. Lily needs to be with her children urgently, and she will be opening this evening for us.
Thank you. That's me. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Lily. We can hear you. Lily Sworn is a multilingual poet, author, columnist, radio show host, and peace ambassador. She has won over 50 international and national awards, and her poetry has been translated into over 16 languages. Her Urdu ghazals have been put to music. Lily, the spotlight is on you.
Thank you, ladies. It's such a joyful morning for me here in Michigan. The fall is about to start, and I'm so grateful to Somrita Bhowmik, my dear friend, who has charged me up to do all kinds of interesting things. Lovely meeting you, Somrita, online. It's a joy to hear you and your beautiful cultivated intonations. I'm also grateful to be here as part of lots of wonderful literary and powerful voices. So if you allow me, I can start off by reading something. Is that okay? Somrita, can I read something?
Yes, Lily, okay. Yes, sure, for sure.
All right. So let me start with something I wrote for, the women empowered people only, and it's called In Shambles. She just took a step outside her aura and looked at the dilapidated structure of her being. A life crushed, plundered, mangled. Married off as a child bride to an aging debauch in one continent, had her genitals mutilated in the name of tradition in another, her body shamed again and again, her sexuality questioned and demonized, her right to make decisions about pregnancy and abortions still snatched from her. And don't smirk, please. You haven't lived in remote villages, have you? Till today, shared like Draupadi amongst brothers so that the land holdings don't deplete. A slave, household drudge, free nanny, cordon bleu chef, buyer of groceries, picker and dropper of kids. Yes, I know, all things women do willingly and happily. What about the emotional abuse? The sniggers and the silent treatment? The fat lady, the bag of bones, or shorty tags? Her decision-making abilities scoffed at? Her grace and her charm made to sound like a harlot's? The bashing was internal. The blue marks of bruises were on her scarred psyche, disfigured by acid attacks of verbal burnings. Her soul blown up into smithereens. Of course she was in shambles in many corners of the globe. Objectified, patronized, talked condescendingly to. She searched hard for that lamp, a lantern, a candle, a flame, till the clouds part in her tattered being and revealed a blaze of radiance within. A light in ruins glimmers like a star. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Wonderful, Lily.
Thank you so much.
much, Lily.
Really
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank
Lily,
you
will
so
you read another one for us?
Oh, how sweet. Of course. Very, 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 very anxious to read more. So this is called Forgive Me. And forgive me if I say life is such a precious gift. Why should we grumble when amidst leering males, the blushing red rose smiles? When the spotted sparrow nuzzles her tender fledglings in the precarious toxic fumes, when the creeping earthworm can barely dodge trampling feet, when the girl in the hutments trudges to work humming a film song, la la la. Let me pause and pray, O Lord, not for my petty desires, when lepers sob alone in a hovel, looking grief-stricken at cringing hands, when cancer devours families in its perpetually hungry, cancerous stomach, when Munni goes to bed hungry for a mother who was raped and killed, when lynching mobs burn and loot, and I crave for some man-made treasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lily. And forgive me when I say I'm borrowing your words. I'm a big fan. But that was such a powerful note to begin on. I'm thinking of some of the questions you raised.
Smitha was also keen that I give a little glimpse of my Urdu and Punjabi poetry. So whenever there's time, let me know.
Yes. Lily, will you be able to stay on? If not, I think we could hear it right now. Why not right now? I'm eager for more.
Sure. So this is one of the Urdu ghazals I wrote a while ago, and मेरी पसंदीदा गजल है, उम्मीद है आप सबको पसंद आएगी. तो पेश करती हूँ. बतला हाजिर है कि शाम होने से पहले पयाम आएगा, शाम होने से पहले पयाम आएगा, उनके नाजुक लबों से सलाम आएगा, आएगा. हिज्र की रात कहता रहा दिल मेरा, हिज्र की रात कहता रहा दिल मेरा, वस्ल जाना का फिर से मुकाम आएगा, वस्ल जाना का फिर से मुकाम आएगा. और शेर हाजिर कर रही हूं कि गम सभी राहतों में बदल जाएंगे, गम सभी राहतों में बदल जाएंगे, सर के बल जब भी तेरा गुलाम आएगा, जब भी तेरा गुलाम आएगा. शेर हाजिर है कि तुझको शबनम के आंसू नजर आएंगे, तुझको शबनम के आंसू नजर आएंगे, भीगा भीगा सा जब भी कलाम आएगा, भीगा भीगा सा जब भी कलाम आएगा. और अगला शेर पेशो खिदमत है कि मेरे महबूब मुझको यकीन है बहुत, मेरे महबूब मुझको यकीन है बहुत, जिंदगी का मेरी इंतजाम आएगा, आएगा. और वक्त हाजिर है कि रोशनी तेरी आंखों की बढ़ जाएगी, रोशनी तेरी आंखों की बढ़ जाएगी, जब सबा तेरा माहे तमाम आएगा, जब सबा तेरा माहे तमाम आएगा. बहुत मेहरबानी जी, बहुत मेहरबानी.
बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत खूब लिली, थैंक यू.
So Next is a Punjabi offering for all my Punjabi friends on this panel today. I know there are lots of them sending you love, Tasir, and everybody whom I could meet personally. So this is Somrita, something which I had written for, the passing away of elders, along with the rich culture. How depleted I feel when I see the elder generation, the seniors, pass away with a wealth which we are going to miss. मतलब ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ grandchildren ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਸਮਝ ਆਏਗੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ so this is called buzurg and it is an offering for all the elders all over the world ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਾਉਣ ਲੱਗੀ ਆ ਜੀ buzurg ਹੌਕੇ ਲੈ ਲੈ ਸੁਬਕਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਮਿੱਠੇ ਜਾਮਨ ਤੋੜਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਮਿੱਸੀ ਰੋਟੀ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਕਰ ਦੇ बुजुर्ग मेरे वापस कर दे टाली हेठा बैठन वाले गुरु दी साखी सुनाउण वाले वाहिगुरु मर जानिए कहण वाले बुजुर्ग मेरे वापस कर दे चादरे बन के नचन वाले चादरे बन के नचन वाले गंडा पान के रोटी खान वाले मोढे उत्ते चुकन वाले बुजुर्ग मेरे वापस कर दे बुजुर्ग मेरे वापस कर दे कीर्तन सोहला जपन वाले बेरियां तो बेर तोड़ लियान वाले जूंदे वसदे रहो राहतों में बुजुर्ग मेरे वापस कर दे सुरमचू नाल सुरमा पाड़ वाले गुरु दी गुड़ दी ढेली खीसे विच लुकाउण वाले शमले वाली पग पाण वाले बुजुर्ग मेरे वापस कर दे नी चलिए कह के हसन वाले किक्कर दे दातन नाल दंद मांजन वाले भांडे करी करवाण वाले बुजुर्ग मेरे वापस कर बुजुर्ग थैंक यू वेरी मच बहुत मेहरबानी जी
Lovely. Excellent, Lily ma'am. I am bewitched.
So much.
I can't write any comments also. I am bewitched.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful, Lily. I mean, and what a lovely melting pot of languages to begin with. I think we couldn't have asked for a better opening, Lily. Bahut bahut shukriya. I can feel the gur and the roshni and the inspiration sitting 14,000 miles away from you right here. So thank you so much for that opening. I actually do have an alphabetical list with me here. Smita sent it to me, but I thought, we'll spice things up a little bit. Are we even poets if we don't behave a little wild and show our junoon and fitur and madness in such poetry methods, right? So I think we'll go alternately from the top of the list, followed by the end of the list. So I shall now request Abha to share her works with her. Abha, if you're here, if you could unmute your microphone.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
That was just wonderful. What a fantastic beginning to this session. I just love.
And what a powerful second note right now, right here. Abha is an award-winning, internationally published poet, author, editor, and British Council certified creative writing mentor. She was longlisted for the We Kamla Das Award in 2020 and won the Kota Press Anthology Contest from the US in 2003. Abha has 8 published books to her credit, and her poems have been included in various journals and anthologies. Over to you, Abha.
Thank you so much, Somrita. That's anyway. I am also reading for the first time, I think, my Hindi poem. I write poems only in Hindi. So this is quite a platform for me to, I'll be reading it in Hindi first, the poem, and then the English version. Yeah. So it's titled Sharte. Again, it's I mean, I guess all of us have this very feminist outlook or approach, or we can't help but have it. So this is also has an undercurrent of that. not very obvious, but very much there. शर्तें. तुम किसी और दुनिया से आए हो और चाहते हो कि मैं अकस्मात बदल जाऊं. यह जानना तुमने गवारा नहीं समझा. शायद मैं भी कुछ शर्तें लेके आई हूं. किस तरह समझ लिया तुमने कि हर पीढ़ी में एक ही बात मिलेगी. एक तरफा वार्तालाप की मैं आदी नहीं हूं. मेरी आवाज भी तुम्हें सुनना पड़ेगी. मुझे किसी के जोर की समझ नहीं, ना ही खुद जबरदस्ती करने की चाह है. यह बात लेकिन तुम्हें समझनी है जरूर. मुझे अपनी इज्जत की बेहद परवाह. And I will now read the English version. This title conditions. You have arrived from another world and expect me to change overnight. You did not think it important to know. Perhaps I too will come with conditions. How did you come to this conclusion that every generation will be the same as before? I am not used to one-sided conversations. You will have to listen to my voice as well. I don't understand another's compulsions, nor do I have the wish to compel anyone. But you need to understand this truth. I care a lot about my self-respect. So, thank you. And there's a small next couplet. It's 2 lines.
Yes,
which
please.
is the second one. These are the ones which I had sent to Smita for Yugen, both these, and she seemed to have loved them, and I'm so grateful to her for that. शायर को दुनिया के करीब न लाओ, उसका दिल जरा नाजुक सा होता है. Don't bring the poet too close to the world. Her heart is of the delicate kind. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आभा. Thank you so much. And if I can borrow your words, तुम किसी और दुनिया से आए हो, but please यहाँ ठहर जाओ. सारी शर्तें मंजूर हैं मुझे.
Shukriya. I wish, actually the timing is such that my kids have just come and I said, you have to, they have just arrived. And my daughter, especially after some time. So I would love to stay. Perhaps I could join later. I don't know. It may carry on.
We would love that. We would love that if you come back again with another couplet for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us this evening.
I'm so grateful and happy. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Abha.
Bye.
And of course, after A follows V on our list. And so I now want to invite Benita to share her works with us. Benita Agarwal is an award-winning poet and translator. She's a recipient of several international and national awards, including the Tagore Literary Prize in 2018. Her poems have appeared in several journals, and she was on the panel of judges for the Asian Jar Contest in 2015 and for the RLFPA Awards in 2016. Over to you, Vinita. I've always been a fangirl, and you'll still see me sitting here. Looking at you, starry-eyed.
Thank you, Somrita, for that very kind and very warm introduction. And I just want to compliment Smita on this long and wonderful journey. And I wish her many, many more years of empowerment with we. And she mentioned that we were together since inception. And that's true. And she mentioned that we was a baby when we first started sort of putting it together. And now it's grown into this beautiful woman. And hopefully next year it'll be even more wonderful. I can see we growing into various stages of beauty as the years pass by. So congratulations, Smita, on this wonderful occasion. It's raining in Delhi, by the way, and it didn't rain all monsoon, and now it is. And somehow the rain always anchors me to a very deep sense of nostalgia for home. I don't know why. So I chose a couple of poems on home, if I may read them. The first one is titled, I Have 5 Homes. I have 5 homes, they're all within one. A single periphery of loose alluvial cocoons my 5 homes. One is made of cotton tufts, weeds, hay, chaff, a haven for sparrows, too tired to fly, chased until they fall from the sky, almost dead from exhaustion, succumbing to a catapult in every hand. The second, made of fragrances, dough fluffing to warm bread under your nimble fingers. Your expanse over me, mint, cucumber, curry leaves, aged basmati, ambient soft veils of scents, a magnet as strong as the pole's life force nurtured through inhalations. The third, made from corners, set to perfection between walls, 90 degrees of darkness to crawl into, to stay buried. Forget I have ears and others have tongues. Rain is the fourth, made from plain rain, rain that lifts me to where it falls. I sprint to the terrace for a rendezvous, its wet moors eloquent on my naked arms, the clouds that I deciphered the day I was born. Fifth is the nameplate made of wood that won't be nailed out, even though the house is refurbished twice over. A bamboo plaque bearing father's name, a rivet on which to peg weariness, an emblem of sturdiness, good to believe in, good to lean on, good to bleed into every single day. The second poem I would like to read is, it's titled Open Music Box Home. The crumbs of our first home I have fed to the birds, kept only its soul, a lamp in the heart. That open music box home, an unmade bed, trees for family. Bare as breath, a gentle circle, warm molasses sweet. A home syringed into roseate skies, father and mother home. A parachute breaking my fall no matter where I landed. When it rained, my home dissipated. Mud and clay flowed down in runnels. Home splintered into many homes. Each raindrop glinting, a new reflection of home. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vanita. Sorry. Did I? Sorry, no. I probably just misheard that. Thank you so much, Vanita. I think you've opened a music box for us over here, a music box with your words. And I really truly think that music and poetry will be the medicines we look for in the future. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. I now want to invite Gayatri to read her Sept for us. Gayatri Lakhiani Chawla, winner of the Rahi Kadam Inspiration Award 2021, is a poet, translator, and French teacher from Bombay. Her poems feature in several international anthologies and journals. Her debut book, Invisible Eye, won the Right Publish Publicize contest at the Bengaluru Poetry Festival 2019. And she has also won the Panorama Special Jury Award at the Panorama International Literary Awards in 2020. The stage is yours, Gayatri.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sumitra, for those lovely words. It's great to see everybody and meet everyone. Smita, congratulations on the completion of 5 glorious years of We. And thank you, Smita, for doing what you do best, sprinkling the magic of poetry in our lives. Today I'm going to be reading some newer poems, and the first one is called Amulet. Listen quietly to your seer sitting cross-legged. With dark coal eyes she discerns. When the sign of the skies shall tincture the fig vines coiling all over the arbors of the backyard, of the virus that will kill with human touch, nose, eyes threatened fugitively, unmasking the bizarre phenomenon, a crevice of death. Your once navigable life is jilted, comorbid, throbbing with utter abstinence. Is there an antidote to fear, a vial of promise? Do not ignore the blind hierophant. He is your forefather from another life. The ship of penance awaits you across the moonless harbor. She says, embark in silence. A fistful of fireflies sucks up the darkness. Tethered to the dim gaslight, the ghost of the weary farmer looks on. The second poem is called Hunger, and this is a found poem, and I'm really lucky that it's found a home in the Yearbook of Indian Poetry in English, edited by Vinita and Sukrita. Thank you, Vinita. And so this is a found poem from the book A Sport and a Pastime by James Salter. And so basically, like, found poetry is, a patchwork of words and dialogues which you pick up from newspapers or a story, and then you weave your poetry around it. So the last line of every stanza is a dialogue or a line from this particular book. So here goes. Hunger. Does a place or age qualify as an aphrodisiac? Go wild, fantasize. There is truth in the warmth of two legs. This blue, indolent town. Is love real or an illusion? Do lovers really exist or live in each other's heads? Now they are lovers. Did you feel guilty watching her naked in between the sheets of a passionate afternoon? Crayfish is an ecstasy. How does one wash away the smells of a lover's body? Dilute the pain, switch words, strong language, violence, sex, nudity. No mafe pamal poku. Dementia is not deliberate, just a broken bottle of perfume. One should not believe too easily in a life which can easily vanish. Thank you.
That was wonderful, Gayatri.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gayatri. Thank you. Thank you also for bringing us your fistful of fireflies. It's not the kind of light we want to wash away from an evening like this. Thank you so much. I also want to take a brief pause over here to mark the launch of the second issue of the Yugen Quest review. The work Smita has put into this edition, as we all know, is incredible. So please join me in wishing YQR the very best as it grows from a now 2-issue-old fledgling online poetry journal to becoming, I'm certain, one of the most important English literary magazines in India in the near future. Bravo, Smita, and thank you for doing this. I shall now invite a very dear Tasir to share her works with us. Again, Smita, thank you. I have so much to be thankful for. I met Nishat and Tasir because of you and because of the We Kamala Das Awards last year. And if I could, I would keep going back to that moment, to our discussions, to the camaraderie we shared. Thank you once again. Tasir Gujral studied literature and received a doctorate on the feminist poems of Adrienne Rich. Her works appear in several journals and anthologies. Her interests range from writing, translating, sketching, singing, and listening to music to feeling the moist soil between her fingers while gardening and bird watching. The spotlight is on you, Tasir. Tasir, you'll have to unmute your microphone. I think you're on mute.
Hello, am
Hi.
I?
Hi,
Yes.
Tasir.
Yeah, good evening. Hello. So good
Welcome.
to see everyone in person after all
Yeah.
these years. Yeah, it's lovely. Hi, Lily. Hi, Somrita. Hi, Nishat. Hi, Smita, of course. Gayatri. I think I almost know everyone. And it's so beautiful. And this evening seems like quite a treat, you know. Yeah. I began with hearing Lily and with what passion she was reciting that Punjabi poem. You know, I wish I could hear the whole thing, but I joined midway, I think, but nevertheless, you know, it was wonderful, Lily. And so it has been a very strange year, the last year. So, in the midst of a pandemic and a lot of learnings and relearning, uh, I have a few of my recent poems that I brought. So it's just a very haphazard kind of a, I mean, some poems that I've collected. So let me just go over it. I'll just begin with a few. I think you are giving 10 minutes to each participant, Somrita. Is that the
Yes. Yes, 9 to 10 minutes per person.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay, wonderful. So let me begin with the poem called. Okay, let me begin with a ghazal. Can I do that? So this
For
is
sure.
yeah, this is an English ghazal. Ghazal we know is a series of Urdu couplets that are related to each other with the takhallus at the end. So this is an English ghazal. So I will begin with this. May I? Yeah. Here goes. Uh, Let us forget a blazing rose in silence. When we eat our words, love grows in silence. The night your words sway like a lantern. Darkness melts, a gentle breeze blows in silence. You need a new language to spell your longing. Unfurl your paper beads, the heart knows in silence. My face is an echo of the jaundiced moon. When you place it in your palms, blood glows in silence. When your breath smells of my Persian name, prayers are mildly musked, a kafir bows in silence. So that's the ghazal. So I tried to experiment and write. So that is the first ghazal I wrote, and I thought I will begin with this. And I think another poem that this is a bit of a different poem, from my usual voice, and it is powerful. So I think I'll read this. It's called Dissonance. Please tell me how it's done. Do you rip off your clothes and dive head fast into a sea of naked women? Do you swim out in the breakers and let the riptide take you? Or do you just lie there staring at flowers, watching the petals wither and droop? I did that once with roses when I was stuck in bed for 6 weeks. Surprising how petals shiver and jerk before they fall, how suddenly things change. One night, your teenage son looks you straight in the eye. Next morning, he's taller than you are. One day, your hair is short, the next, it needs cutting. Even babies in their cribs grow in fits and starts. You're pregnant or you're not. You're alive 1 second and dead the next. So maybe that's how it happens in one fell swoop, life being struck by amnesia. One night we are embracing under shooting stars. The next you can't remember who you are married to. So that is another one. So I guess, uh, do we have time for another one? Or should I?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
One
Yes,
more, one more, Somrita.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah. So, Earthrise is a rather recent poem that appeared in the Seizura project that was undertaken by Geeta Vishwanath, a friend. So this is a rather longish poem. I'm not so sure will I be able to do this, or should I take up a shorter one? Somrita, you tell me. This might take 5 minutes.
Please go ahead. Kasim, please go ahead.
Okay, right. So this is Earthrise. I was inspired to write it after looking at the iconic Earthrise photograph that was taken by Mark Anderson. So there was the Apollo project, and this picture of the moon, it evoked a lot of emotion in me, and I was thinking of the pandemic also, and a lot of, life in general, the patterns, and how they were affected by the pandemic also. So I tried to, kind of give structure to all my thoughts and link it to the Earthrise, the our planet in all its fragility, in all its vulnerability. So I was thinking of all these things. So here goes emptiness. It is strangely comforting how predictable the word can be. Now, emptiness. Maybe I've been waiting my whole life for this. It only takes a minute or a virus to undo the bare bones of a person. As fruits sit in a pretty pink pool of potassium permanganate, waiting to be sterilized, I finally have the time to ruminate if I am a Hegelian soul in a body. Does my soul wear a mask too? This formless distraction, this cloudy sweep takes me nearer to what I am or what I have become. Last spring, as I took bites from the juicy apple I ate, I was already thinking of my day ahead. Meeting with a friend over coffee, trip to the sabzi market to pick up yellow peppers, mushrooms, broccoli, stopping over at the stationery shop to buy pens and outline word maps for daughter, coming back to a light repast, then a brief, languorous, sweet sleep that comes from gazing at dragonflies from my room's window. Dozens circle the air in late spring when mango trees bristle with pollen. A walk in the evening, dinner, TV, conversation, some reading, and sleep. Past is a pen that bleeds ink into familiar spaces. Time is now a linear, seamless expanse. We live aghast, aloof, alarmed, alienated, locked in isolation, a likeness of Hopper paintings. This word was cold, clinical, detached, antiseptic, bleak with the lack of love, of friendship. The virus only concretized the malady. We have brought this upon ourselves. Have we brought this upon ourselves? Someone said this. This whole affliction is the result of our combined will. How very powerful we are. Meanwhile, floods rage, forest fires singe, bodies float in the Ganges, women and nature are violated, people die drowning in the fluid of their own lungs. A calm disquiet prevails. We continue to cook, bake bread, learn YouTube yoga, have Zoom sessions on poetry, which we are doing right now, math, culture, cinema, everything. A myriad ways to touch each other in an era of isolation. The other day, I looked at the iconic Earthrise clicked by a NASA scientist. Earth in all its vulnerable fragility. All my thoughts became moons. All my thoughts become moons, orbiting a planet bruised and battered, orbiting a planet devastated beyond repair. My heart has a tender wish to turn the earth inside out once more. Dragonflies continue to circle over a mossy pond. Mangoes don't forget to ripen. So that's it. So, yeah, thank you so much. It's lovely.
It was so amazing to see you.
Thank you, Smita. Always
Thank
you
you,
are very
Tasir.
generous with your appreciation. Thank you. But
No, thank you. Thank you so much, Tasir. If I can borrow from your ghazal, a kafir bows in silence here at
I
the
didn't want
beauty of
to,
your words.
yeah, I didn't want to really mention my name directly. So I just wrote my Persian name there.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Tasir, also for being with us this evening. I shall now invite Jaguri to read to us. Jaguri has been very unwell, but so kind of her to join us this evening. Sending you my best, Jaguri. Jaguri Mukherjee is a poet, editor, and reviewer who has authored 3 collections of poetry. She was a dance scholar at the Technical University of Dresden in Germany and a Bear River Writers Conference alumna. She recently won the Women Empowered Gifted Poet Award and is the founder and chief executive editor of EKL Review. All yours, Jaguri.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have another session at 8:30. May I please leave? I'm so sorry, Jaguri. I'll be missing your wonderful reading and I will be missing all the others too. Please excuse me.
Thank you so much with us, ma'am. Vinita.
I'm sorry to be missing all, but I'll definitely catch up on the recording and all the best. Thank you
It
so
was
much.
a pleasure to see you. Bye. Have a great session ahead. Bye-bye.
Hi, Vinita.
Bye.
Bye, Vinita ma'am.
So sorry.
Okay, thank you, Somrita, for the warm introduction. I'm not well, so I hope I can get through this reading without coughing. But if I do, I hope all of you will forgive me. And congratulations, Smita, on completing 5 years. And I'm so glad I joined this journey 2 years ago. And I'm thrilled to be a part of V and also Yugen Quest Review. So I have 3 poems for tonight. The first one is titled Goddess. It is a tribute to Margaret Atwood's poem, Helen of Troy Does Countertop Dancing. So a tribute to Margaret Atwood and my poem, Goddess. You think I'm not a goddess, wet and salty my skin, far from a peach. My years have rolled out of your reach. To you, I will give an orange cotton scarf scented with jasmine. You will know my youth then, how the fruit was sweet and flowers perfumed. Mind you, I won't allow the bones to be exhumed. A scarf is all you get. You think I'm not a goddess yet? Think again. I am every woman with a hidden palimpsest of scars, like tattoos covering every inch of where it hurts. Call me, yes, call me anything by any name. Only remember, I am a goddess still. I will not be tamed. Thank you. And the second poem is called I Write My Body. And this is dedicated to Ellen Sissu and her essay, The Laugh of the Medusa. Ellen Sissu, the feminist, talks about how, women's writing is like her breast milk. Her ink is like her breast milk, and a woman should own her sexuality and write her body into the text. So this poem is about that. I write my body. I write my body on your text, on my text. The Medusa laughs. The Medusa laughs at men turned to stone. My body, your pleasure zone, my pleasure zone. Every inch of skin, every living pore, and the moist in between that you live so makes them call me a shameless whore. Now, my coven, no stopping the tide, no passion denied. With my white ink, my bosom store, I will make my mark, my light, my dark on paper pour. Call it l'écriture feminine, call it a woman's design, call it poetry written by a shameless whore. I operate from Medusa's lair. I need my fair share. I want more, 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 more. Thank you. And my last poem is called Raqs Sharki. Raqs Sharki is the Arabic term for belly dancing. So recently I took up belly dancing, and I was, not recently, before that when I lived in Pune, I took a few classes in basic belly dancing. And I was told that, why do you want to take up belly dancing at this age? And you are not going to perform on stage. But I said it is something that I want to do to enjoy myself. Rex Sharky, that's the title of the poem. And it has certain terms which are related to belly dancing, but they are pretty self-explanatory, so that's not a problem. Give me a sun-rust orange costume for the darkened soul, and a scarlet scarf, a golden belt. First step, grape. Next step, watch me glimmer, shimmering before jeweled mirrors, as you dream of molding my softness against you. Rough, chafing silk skin, tearing into satin. Abandoned by a husband once, I claim a cracked glass heart back. I begin. On the floor, my feet explode, limbs vibrating in grapevine, arms turning rivers. My fragrant arabesques vanquish decades as men slide off my undulating camels. I don't smile at first. My belly, a tender woman, aflutter with the coin belt, gold on scarlet, unhinges storms on my belly button. A rosebud comes loose. Below, secrets hide in sequence. Above, my turquoise shaded eyes disown glass hearts, dark souls, fugitive men, desires chaff. I relinquish you all as Shakira nears the end of her song. I finally smile, my releve high. You wonder at my apotheosis. Whenever, wherever, forever. Thank you.
Lovely poem.
Thank you
बहुत
so much.
बढ़िया जागर, बहुत बढ़िया. Thank you so much. And we definitely want more and more and more. But I also know how much of a struggle it has been for you to read this for us today. Given how you're doing, I really hope you get better soon. Thank you so much, for sharing the smooth silk and satin of your verses with us. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. I now invite Rukaya to read her works to us. Rukaya MK is an award-winning writer who has published her works in national and international anthologies and journals. She was chosen by Yahoo as one of the top 1,000 voices on an international level for the years 2011, 12, and 13 for her critical writings. She currently works as an assistant professor in English in Kerala. Over to you, Rukaya.
Thank you so much, Somrita. And you've been such a lively and bubbly host for today. So it's so nice listening to you. And special thanks to Smita, the one woman army of women empowered India, who was shown us what being woman and being empowered is all about. So thank you so much. And it's a challenge to read right now because we have such a power-packed performances from all of you. And Jagri especially who has showed us that no matter what happens, the show must go on. So thank you, Jagri, for the last reading. So without wasting much time, how much time do I have? Sorry if I sound like I'm going to die.
You have 9 minutes
Okay.
until the rest of us die.
Can I interrupt here once, Urni? I'm sorry.
Yes, of course, Smita.
Because tech hitches happen all the time. So maybe we'll do shorter stuff now and cover everyone. And then, like Rukhaya, 6 minutes. And
Okay.
then somebody said Ritu Korna just sent a message saying she has some technical issues. So just check that. And Amrita, she had to go somewhere, right? I don't know. Amrita, is that right still? Amrita, are you there?
Smita, I'm not scheduled for today. Actually, I'm scheduled for Saturday.
Oh yeah,
I'm just enjoying the poetry. You don't have to slot any time.
I got mixed up. My apologies. Okay.
That day I'll finish off by 6:30.
Yeah. So Urmi, you continue. Sorry for the interruption.
No problem. Sure, Rukhaya, go ahead.
Okay.
Wonderful poetry. That's why I'm just.
Okay, so shall I start? So my reading today is part of my series called Diaspora series. I had actually done my PhD on diaspora and Robert Frost, and probably you can find the formidable influence of my research on this series of poetry. Just a short note before reading, according to popular perception, the term diaspora has been identified as a person or a community who goes and settles down on a foreign soil and then feels nostalgic for his native soil. But as I was doing my research, I found that this idea of diaspora was actually a popular misconception, because this word was not only limited to the homeland-hostland dichotomy. There were actually 4 different phases. The first, what we popular know as, and that has been identified as the homeland-hostland dichotomy. The second is metaphoric. The third one is post-structural, of people who experience a strong sense of dislocation. And coming to the 4th phase, the last one, it covers almost everything. You have hyperreal diasporas, you have digital diasporas, you have gay diasporas, you have terror diasporas, everything. So what I found out, my conclusion was that diaspora actually relates to a sense of lack of belonging and a strong sense of dislocation. So this series of poems, each one has all of us are diasporas in different ways. Even my poems are diasporas, and I thank Women Empowered India for giving them a home on this platform. So the first one, every Indian woman is always in perpetual liminality. We talk about the concept of Vasudeva Kudumbakam, but you see that she's always caught between her Maika and her Sasural. So the first poem is on that, diaspora. When I got married, they told me, now onwards you belong to your hubby's home. And when I went there, they always spoke of where I came from, flinging me forever into never-ending pattern paradoxes of belonging. I'm always going home, and I'm still waiting for the day when I'll be coming home. This is the first poem. Now, coming to the second poem, there's a saying, I'm a Keralite. No matter which the world you go to, you'll always find a Malayali or a Mallu there. And so you find the Malayali diaspora everywhere. And this specific poem is about the Gulf Malayali diaspora. They come home once in a month, and you have you get to see the glamorized life scented with perfume, with gifts. They come back with gifts for all their near and dear ones. But little do people know of how hard they toil back in the Gulf and how their working conditions are. So the smell of their scent arrives before they reach you, but what never reaches is the stench of their sweat. As they toil in sweltering heats, full-sleeve shirts masking the tan, their thawing warmth reaches out to you, but what never reaches is the deadening cold. As they numb away in cold storage rooms, what stays is the glamour of Gulf, as seemingly easy money is squandered away mindlessly, as gifts that are never returned continue to arrive. Earlier, they returned only once in 5 years with graying whiskers, already the 4th time they met their beloved. They return now, probably once in a year, only for love and small change, as they thirst for some summer rain to wet the desert leaves of their life. You only see the Gulf outside. This was my second poem. And a girl is also a diaspora when she gets her first periods. One day suddenly she's told that you're a woman. I remember when I got my periods for the first time, my mom came and told me, Ruki, you have become big. And then whenever I used to make any kind of discussion, they used to shoo me away saying that I'm small. So suddenly the body had become, to put in quotation marks, big, but my mind was still small. So this is about that kind of dislocation. And also a woman, when she gets her periods in a patriarchal society, she is seen as unholy. I find this in religions like Hinduism, Islam, I don't know about Christianity. And the irony is suddenly when when a man is born of the same blood, he's pure. But when she gets her periods, she becomes impure. That kind of dislocation also. I read that poem, Dislocated. It is that time of the month again when the life spills out of me and my body wins over my mind, when each woman is shoved aside like an oozing wound, an atrophy for the likes of mankind, and I am made to feel guilty for someone else's wrong. All the perfumes of Arabia will not wash these hands of mine. Time when woman is deemed unholy and imprisoned in immanence. If you cannot sanction my disease, can you sanction my death? It began once below a time when I found a huge stain on my white and white. And mom said, you have become big. Now onwards, play only with your cousin sisters. And when there was a discussion, they hushed me up saying I was little. I have still not reconciled from the girl given birth by a woman to this woman suddenly born of a girl. Next, do I have time, Somrita?
That was so beautiful, Rukaiya.
Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Okay, we can do one more if you want to read one more for us.
Okay, fine. No, this actually, I wanted to read this one because this one is actually very close to my heart. I just want I want to put all of you in an imaginary situation where a mother gives birth to 2 children and one is not asked to prove that she came forth from her mom, but the other one is asked to give some kind of DNA test. Please note, it's not a paternity DNA test, it is from the mother. And once you're born of the mother, it's very obvious, isn't it? And this is happening, if I may talk about the elephant in the room. It happens if you're a non-Muslim and a Muslim in today's India. You have to give a DNA test. Right, when you have to, you know about the CA. So this, and also there's a kind of stereotyping also attached to that. So you know about the brilliant Fatima, a Muslim girl who had, she had to resort to suicide because of her identity. So poor Fatima, you're not alone. It is there everywhere. When a famous academician walks up to me and tells me he didn't expect a girl covering her head to ask him such questions. Or when a well-meaning friend asks where I come from, and when I say Mogral, exclaims how her history professor husband told her I was actually Brahmin generations ago. before Tipu Sultan converted us, and that's where my fairness and intelligence comes from. Or when my son's teacher tells me my son is good in spite of being Muslim in a Hindu school, and I lift a dog ear in disbelief. My graces are not mine. My conduct is not mine. I cannot save my own skin. I would give up my land any day for my brother, Babri, for God is omnipresent. But when probabilities are weighed against certainty, I do have a problem. The dangerous ones tell me you do not belong here. The more dangerous ones say you are welcome here. Do you need to tell me I am welcome in my own home? How can I call mom stepmom when I know I came from her womb? What could be worse than be diaspora in one's own country? Thank you. Okay.
Amazing, Ruqayya.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Very
much,
well
Ruqayya.
brought out. Very well brought out. God bless.
Absolutely, I've got goose flesh. Thank you
Ma'am,
so much.
you gave a power-packed start to this whole session. So following from you.
Khush rahein, jeete rahein. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am.
You've raised so many important questions as well, Ruqayya. I mean, you know, every Indian woman, every Indian girl seems to be in a state of perpetual liminality. Where have we come from? Where are we headed? Where is home? What DNA tests can prove our allegiance to our home? Thank you so much for raising these questions through your works, Ruqayya. I now want to invite our dear Nishat to share her works with us. Dr. Nishat Taiber is a professor of English at Jamia Millia Islamia University and formerly Director, Institute of Women's Studies at the University of Lucknow. She's the author of Contemporary Indian Women's Poetry, published in 2010, and a recipient of the Meenakshi Mukherjee Prize in 2016 and the C.D. Narasimhaya Award in 2010, among several others. Nishat, over to you. But just want to quickly mention, I've also deliberately kept all the bio notes very brief because honestly, I
get very embarrassed.
No, I love for your words so fire to introduce you rather than, you know, me droning on. But I also want to mention that we may look up all the featured poets from this evening on the Yugen Quest review. So make sure you visit the YQR website after our soiree comes to a wrap today. Nishat, the spotlight's on you.
Thank you so much, Somrita. And thank you, my dear friend, Smita Bhaumik, for making me a part of your this We Empowered journey. Thank you, my co-travelers, Somrita, Tasif, and the others. And without much ado, the poem that I'm going to read today is Fehmida Riaz's Chadar or Char Diwari, which translates as the veil and the four walls of home. And what really inspired me to read this poem today were the images of the Afghan women, you know, the so-called empowered, emancipated women, you know, who are working in all fields and who have now been relegated to the margins and are again, once over again, after the occupation and forceful entry of the Taliban, they have been forced to, you know, observe daily. So Fehmida Riaz, you know, in this poem is an explicit example of the way feminists use poetry as a medium of dissent, especially in Pakistan against the Zia-ul Haq regime, who was the military dictator then. And this poem is a critique of the hypocrisy of the religious orthodoxy. Although the word Islam is not mentioned anywhere in the poem, but we know for sure that she's talking about the Islamic orthodoxy. And the poem derives its title from the name of the campaign which was started by Zia-ul Haq's Islamic Ideology Council, which was part of the general move to restrict women's participation in the society to the domestic sphere. So I'll read it in Urdu. And then if you want, then I will read the translation. हुजूर, मैं इस स्याह चादर का क्या करूंगी, ये आप मुझको क्यों बख्शते हैं बसद इनायत। न सोग में हूं कि इसको ओढ़ूं, गमो आलम खल्क को दिखाऊं, न रोग हूं मैं किसके, न रोग हूं मैं कि इसकी तारीखियों में खफ्त से डूब जाऊं, न मैं गुनहगार हूं न मुजरिम कि इस स्याही की मुहर अपनी जबी पर हर हाल में लगाऊं। अगर न गुस्ताख मुझको समझें, अगर ना गुस्ताख मुझको समझें, अगर मैं जान की अमान पाऊं, तो दस्त बस्ता करूं गुजारिश के बंदा परवर, हुजूर के हुजरे मुअत्तर में एक लाशा पड़ा हुआ है, न जाने कब का गला सड़ा है, ये आपसे रहम चाहता है। हुजूर इतना करम तो कीजिए, स्याह चादर मुझे न दीजिए, स्याह चादर से अपने हुजरे की बेकफन लाश ढांप दीजिए कि इससे फूटी है जो उफूनत, वो कूचे कूचे में हाँपती है, वो सर पटकती है चौखटों पर, बरहनगी अपनी ढांकती है। सुने जरा दिल खराश चीखें बना रही हैं अजब ही ओले, जो चादरों में भी है बरहना ये कौन है, जो चादरों में भी है बरहना ये कौन है, जानते तो होंगे हुजूर, पहचानते तो होंगे, ये लौंडियां हैं, ये यरगमाली हलाल शब भर रहे, दमे सुबह दर बदर हैं, ये बांदियां हैं, हुजूर के नफ्ते मुबारक के नस्बे मिर्सा से मोतबर हैं, ये बीबियां हैं कि ज़ौजगी की खराज देने कतार अंदर कतार बारी की मुंतज़िर हैं, ये बच्चियां हैं कि जिनके सर पर फिरा जो हजरत का दस्त शफ़क़त, तो कम सिनी के लहू से रेशे सफेद रंगीन हो गई है, हुजूर के हुजलाए मुअत्तर में जिंदगी खून रो गई है, पड़ा हुआ है जहां ये लाशा, तवील सदियों से कत्ले इंसानियत का ये खून चुका तमाशा, अब इस तमाशे को खत्म कीजिए हुजूर, अब इसको ढांप कीजिए, स्याह चादर तो बन चुकी है मेरी नहीं आपकी जरूरत, कि इस जमीन पर वजूद मेरा नहीं फकत एक निशाए शहवत, हयात की शाहराह पर जगमगा रही है मेरी जहानत, जमीन के रुख पर जाए पसीना तो झिलमिलाती है मेरी मेहनत, ये चार दीवारियां ये चादर गली सड़ली लाश को मुबारक, खुली फिजाओं में बादबां खोल कर बधेगा मेरा सफीना, मैं आदमे नौ की हम सफर हूँ, मैं आदमे नौ की हम सफर हूँ कि जिसने जीती मेरी भरोसा भरी रिफाकत, मैं आदमे नौ की हम सफर हूँ कि जिसने जीती मेरी भरोसा भरी रिफाकत। Now I'll read the English translation. Sire, what will I do with this black chadar? Why do you bless me with it? I'm neither in mourning that I should wear it to announce my grief to the world, nor am I a disease that I should drown, humiliated in its darkness. I'm neither sinner nor criminal that I should set its black seal on my forehead under all circumstances. If you will pardon my impertinence, if I have reassurance of my life, if you will pardon my impertinence, if I have reassurance of my life, then I will entreat you with folded hands. O benevolent one, in sire's fragrant chambers lies a corpse, who knows how long it has been rotting there. Sire, be kind enough, give me not this black shawl. Use it instead to cover that shroudless corpse in your chambers, because the stench that has burst forth from it goes panting through the alleys, bangs its head against the door frames, attempts to cover its nakedness. Listen to the heart-rending shrieks which raise strange specters. They who remain naked despite their chadars, who are they? They who remain naked despite their chadars, who are they? You must know them. Sire, you must recognize them. They are the concubines, the hostages who remain legitimate through the night, but coming morning are sent forth to wander homeless. They are the handmaidens, more reliable than the half share of inheritance promised your precious sperm. These are the honorable wives who await their turn in long queues to pay their conjugal dues. These are the young girls when sire's affectionate hand descended upon their heads. The innocent blood stained your white beard red. In sire's fragrant chambers, life has shed tears of blood. Where this corpse lies, this, for long centuries, the bloody spectacle of humanity's murder. End this spectacle now. Sire, cover it up. The black chadar has become your necessity, not mine. My existence on this earth is not a mere symbol of lust. My intelligence gleams brightly on the highway of life. The sweat that shines on the brow of the earth is but my hard work. The corpse is welcome to this chadar and these four walls. My ship will move full sail in the open wind. I am the companion of the new Adam. I am the companion of the new Adam who has won my confident comradeship. Thank you.
Oh gosh, Nishant, this is amazing.
This was
Brilliant.
beyond amazing, beyond amazing.
Absolutely.
In memory
Thank
of
you.
Fahmida Riaz, the great Pakistani feminist poet, who spoke truth to power and was fearless. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
sharing
you
it with
so
us.
much, Nisha. Thank you so much. Exactly. Thank you for sharing it and sharing the translation with us. I mean, I really do want to shut up at this point and get the silence. Yeah.
Can I just interrupt once again?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, just find out how Rituparna Khan is feeling because she said she was not feeling well. Just find out, please. Rituparna, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am,
I
I'm
did
there.
send a message to Ritu, and all right, Ritu's here. Okay, all right. Ritu, if you could unmute yourself, if that's okay with you at this point.
Yeah, I have unmuted.
Yeah, thanks, Ritu.
Are you okay?
Ritu, would you be comfortable reading at this point? Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, okay, and I have to leave immediately. I'm not feeling well.
Yes, Ritu,
Thank
absolutely. You know, our evening is almost coming to a close. Thank you so much for staying with us, Ritu, even though you haven't been feeling too well. Ritu Parna Khan is an assistant professor in geography who has published her literary writings on national and international fora. Her debut poetry anthology is titled Melting Thoughts. Ritu, over to you.
Thank you. And I'd like to congratulate V for completing 5 years. It's half a decade. That's really significant. And kudos to Smita ma'am and all of us here, all the wonderful women celebrating V. Okay, I have very small poems. To begin with, this is a transit between dream and reality. This is last night's dream. Flying high in the clouds with no gray shades of divisions. I was a bird last night on the array of the rainbow, devoid of any thoughts sinister to breed. I was floating, saw anger, saw intolerance, saw hatred, saw dispute. I was whistling the song of equality. Attuned to my whistle so sweet, all humans turned to fairies. singing a saga of harmony I found. Alas, alas, trance broke to reality to let me cry in the wilderness of my bed. If I had dreamed the same at dawn in place of night. Because they say dreams at dawn come true, not at night. So my second one is palette of hope. Born with abundance in her heart, nothing was ever enough for her. When the road seemed to end, she had an ocean of love to share. I mean, this goes for all women, actually. We always have. When the cloudy gloom loomed over, she found a sky of smiles to spread. When colors in the world withered, she found palette of hope to paint. She found palette of hope to paint. And my third one is also a very small one. We should not always take darkness to be something negative. Darkness may also be glorified. This is nyctophilia. And nyctophilia means love for darkness. Absorbs all grime, makes the surface of life so smooth, soaks all pathos, relieves the hearts from all duress, swallows all stress, liberates the souls from grey shades, colors all differences in the majestic shade of one eternal black, in the majestic shade of one eternal black. Darkness, you are my love. I suffer from you. I suffer from you, syndrome of nyctophilia. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ritu. Thank you also for sharing this transformative experience, your transformative experience with us. I personally feel like I've been transported to this sort of calm, trance-like state with you. Thank you so much for that. And I hope you feel better soon. Talk to you soon, Ritu. Thank you for staying.
I beg your pardon. I'd like to leave. I'm
Yes.
having my usual problem of vertigo. So can't sit longer.
Ritu, thank you so much for spending so much time with us this evening. We're very honored.
Thank you for such a wonderful host. And thanks once again, Smita ma'am. Bye.
Bye, Ritu. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. And I've also just got a text from Smita, who I think she would have me read a little something. So I will definitely keep my bio note out of the picture and dive straight into the poem.
I was going to read your bio. I have your bio with me. I forgot to tell you. So do you want to read now? Then I'll read your bio.
Yeah, but it's entirely unnecessary.
What is tea?
Just read a brief bio for the benefit of others, please.
Yes.
Somrita Urni Ganguly is a professor and award-winning poet and literary translator. She was a Fulbright doctoral research fellow at Brown University, USA, and is an alumna of the University of East Anglia's International Literary Translation and Creative Writing. One sec. The echo is very bad, right? There's an echo happening.
Yes, there is a bit of
Creative
an echo.
Writing Summer School. Somrita is serving as a judge for the 2021 PEN America Translation Prize and is currently head of the Department of English, Maharaja Manindra Chandra College, University of Calcutta. She is the editor of the first anthology of food poems, Quesadilla and Other Adventures, 2019. And she has translated Fire Songs, 2019, Shokuni, Master of the Game, 2019, and The Midnight Sun, Love Lyrics and Farewell Songs, 2018, among other works. I think I shall not read more because of the echo, and I'll let Urni continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Smee. And for anybody that doesn't know this, though I do think we do, Smita's sort of been this really supportive patron of the arts, and I like to call her the Santa Claus of our poetry circle because of all the work that she's done for all of us and also the support that she's extended to me. Thanks, Smita. Absolutely honored to be with all of you here today. Going straight into my poem, this one is called The Girl on the Phone. Give me just a second while I draw it out. The Girl on the Phone. I was walking home late last night down the cold street of the sour whiskey smelling south side of New York City. I had watched a Colombian movie, Spanish with English subs, Mama, about an estranged mother and a daughter and a daughter's daughter, and how the three briefly find love, comfort, and solace in one another. The girl walking ahead of me on the footpath was on the phone, crying, and every 4 or 5 sentences repeating, "How can you do this to me? How can you leave me alone?" Now, I love people who are unafraid to get drunk. I love sitting down with them and hearing their drunk stories. There is an honesty in their tears, a vulnerability in their lies, an indiscretion in their warmth and abandon that even the best of us have to fake in our best composed moments. And so I followed the slightly drunk, deeply disturbed girl until I had to cross the road and walk over to the other side. Have I really been able to go over to the other side? I thought of my last 2 breakdowns in the last couple of years. The letters I had written had come back unanswered. All 61 of them. I seem to have sent them to a wrong address. In my late teens and early 20s, I never cried when the men came and went. I was confident and brave and uncaring. I had the kind of arrogance that comes with youth. They could leave, but I knew they would come back someday. And even if they didn't, but by the time I started approaching 30, I looked in them and in me. And so I cried the last 2 times that they left on the phone, like that girl, repeating, "How can you do this to me? How can you leave me alone?" I wanted to stop the girl on the road and shake her up and say, we need to be young again. We need to be shameless, reckless, brave, and hopeful. There are too many of us unseeing the dreams we had once dared to chase. I wanted to tell her that I too had cried on the phone, but that the men had left anyway, that they were meant to leave anyway. I had cried and begged and pleaded with them to stay, but you cannot make people stay when they're determined to go away. My love for those people had been hypothetical, assumptions based on insufficient evidence. I wanted to tell the girl that in the last few months I've been alone. I did not regret that they had gone. What I regret is that I had humbled myself for them. To love and not be loved in return is fucking brutal. I wanted to tell her there is no beauty in fighting madly, maniacally for love where there is none. Because some things look good only in the movies. In life, they tend to bring hurt and humiliation. I wanted to tell the girl she needs to apologize to herself on behalf of all those people who had not. If a sorry is what you're waiting for, then let me tell you, it will not come. If a sorry will help you move on, then say a sorry to yourself. the one they won't say, and do move on. I wanted to tell the girl of the sex worker whom I had met on the streets of London at 4 a.m. when I was sitting on a park bench outside my hotel in Kensington, crying and singing on the phone. Tare dhori dhori mone kori dhorte gelem ar pelem na dhori dhori mone kori ধরতে গেলেম আর পেলেম না দেখেছি দেখেছি রূপসাগরে মনের মানুষ কাঁচা সোনা I tried and I tried to get you, but you were always just a little out of my reach, just a little too gone. Take your time to get over, Katerina Vasilieva, the legal sex worker from Budapest in London, had told me in broken English. There is no rush to forget anything she had said, but when you do move on, when you do forget, make sure it's absolutely clean with no dirty traces left. I wanted to tell the girl that one day it will be her day. She needs to wait. I wanted to stop the girl in front of me on the road and tell her there is no point in asking how some people live with themselves after damaging other people's homes. I wanted to tell her that what follows those phone calls to unwilling lovers is regret. I regret that I had cried and begged and pleaded with them to stay. I regret that my mother never taught me how to live by myself, and how my father and my sister and my neighbor and my God and my dog and my cat all always spoke of adjustments and compromises and friendships and love, prescriptions to a happy life, surrounded by family and friends. There was no prescription on how to make it on my own, on how to watch a movie all by myself alone in a theater full of people, on how to order for a 3-course or a 2-course or a 1-course or any meal at all for myself in a restaurant alone, surrounded by cheer and laughter and whispered promises and sweet kisses, on how to go to a flea market or a park or a picnic on a Sunday afternoon alone, on how to live by myself, with myself, on my own, alone. I wish I could tell the girl that the person she was on the phone with would leave anyway. I wish I could tell her you are not an Airbnb room sister where the men can come and go. Your body will not be their holiday destination, their weekend getaway, their staycation. You are worth more. I wish I could share with her the prescription on how to make it on her own. But by the time I got the medication, that girl was long gone. Thank you.
Gosh, empowering. Urni, this is like a movie.
Take a bow, Urni. Take a bow, Urni. That was so good.
We love listening.
Gosh.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But now give me just a second while I bring my bio note script out. So now for the showstopper this evening. We've come to the close of this delightful poetry adda. I couldn't have been more honored to have spent this evening with all of you. I want to take this opportunity to thank Smita, to thank and yes,
Jasmine is missing.
Yes, she is our showstopper performer tonight. Jasmine and I have made a bit of an agreement. So I do want to, before the stage is handed over to Jasmine, we want to take this opportunity to thank Women Empowered India and Yugen Quest Review for all the work that you've been doing for Indian English poetry and for women poets writing in India. I now want to invite Jasmine, our final performer, our showstopper, to perform for us. Jasmine Khurana is a writer and spoken word artist. Many of her popular works have been awarded for bridging gaps across genders and generations. To name a few, REX Karamveer Chakra Award, the Orange Flower Award, and She the People TV Digital Woman Award, among others. And just a reminder for our audience, once again, the bio notes are available along with the works of these poets on Yugen Quest Review. You can visit our website. The stage is yours, Jasmine. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Somrita. And that was actually too kind an introduction. I'm under pressure now that I have to live up to that. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to. Thank you so much, Smita, and congratulations on we completing 5 years. I will keep it short, but I can't help mentioning this. I'm always in awe of at the way you have created this space and you nurture it. I think that's beyond beautiful, and no one can do it the way you are doing it. Thank you, Smita, for everything.
Thank you.
Now, I'm a little stressed because I've decided to recite one of my only Punjabi pieces today. And I'm not sure how many of you are well versed with the language. I see Lily ji, and I'm very happy. Maybe Gayatri will get it, and I would like to be proven wrong. Maybe many of you will get it, because I will not do the translation, since the translation is already on this edition of Yugen Quest Review, and it's a long thing. This is my only piece in Punjabi. The simple reason that it was a cause that some were commanded that it be written in Punjabi, in my mother tongue. And it is also my way of staying true to my roots, my inheritance, my ancestors, and somewhere also a way of meeting them in the creases of the pages and in the sentences and in the stanzas. I was able to meet them when I was writing. I'm just hoping against hope that the pathos, the descent, and everything that piece is about comes across beyond the language barrier. My piece is borders, on the borders of my capital, ਮੇਰੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਤੇ। ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਸੈਲਾਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਸੱਜ ਗਿਆ। ਕੱਲ ਛੋਟੇ ਵੀਰ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਤਸਵੀਰਾਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਭੇਜੀਆਂ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤਸਵੀਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇ ਬਾਸ਼ਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਪਦੇ। ਉਹ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਚਿਹਰੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਾਦਾ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਝਲਕ ਕਿਉਂ ਪੈ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਆਇਆ ਸਾਰਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੀ ਵੱਟ ਤੇ ਖੜੀ ਅੱਡੀਆਂ ਚੁੱਕ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿਛੋਕੜ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਭਣ ਲੱਗੀ। ਯਾਦਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਉਂਗਲੀ ਫੜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੇ ਉਸ ਪੁਸ਼ਤੈਨੀ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਬੂਹੇ ਦੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਛੱਡ ਆਈਆਂ। ਠੀਕ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਰ੍ਹੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬਾਬਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਹੀ ਲਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਟੱਪਦੀ ਅੰਦਰ ਵੜਦੀ ਸੀ। ਆਪ ਉਹ ਟਿਊਬਵੈਲ ਵੱਲ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ। ਸਰਦਾਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਵਿਹੜਾ, ਹਾਂ ਸਰਦਾਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਵਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਅਖਵਾਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ। ਮੈਂ ਭੱਜ ਕੇ ਬੈਠਕ ਵੱਲ ਗਈ, ਉਹ ਬੈਠਕ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਬਾਰੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਚੀਤਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਨਿਆਣੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸਾਂ ਝਾਕਦੀ। ਉਹ ਬੈਠਕ ਜੋ ਗਵਾਹ ਸੀ ਸੀਲਿੰਗਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਈ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਦੀ। ਉਹ ਬੈਠਕ ਜੋ ਗਵਾਹ ਸੀ ਸਰਪੰਚੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀਆਂ ਦੀ, ਹਰੀ ਕ੍ਰਾਂਤੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਮਿੱਠੀਆਂ ਕੌੜੀਆਂ ਬਹਿਸਾਂ ਦੀ। ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਤੇ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਇੱਕ ਸੈਲਾਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਸੱਜ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤਸਵੀਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੰਗਰ ਲਾਉਂਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਰਸੋਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਿਰੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੀ ਰਸੋਈ ਵਾਂਗ ਹੈ ਜਾਪਦੀ। ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ, ਮੇਰੀ ਭੂਆ, ਮੇਰੀ ਦਾਦੀ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਚਾਚੀ ਵਰਗੀਆਂ। ਕਈ ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੱਕ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਮਾਂ ਹੈ, ਕਿਹੜੀ ਚਾਚੀ, ਕਿਹੜੀ ਦਾਦੀ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਭੂਆ, ਇਸ ਫਰਕ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਨਿਆਣੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਜਿੰਦ ਅਣਜਾਣ ਸੀ। ਕਿਉਂ ਜੋ ਚੂਰੀ ਤੇ ਗਲਵਕੜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਨਿੱਘ ਤੇ ਮਿਠਾਸ ਸੀ। ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਕੁਝ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਐਸੇ ਵੀ ਸੀ, ਕੁਝ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਐਸੇ ਵੀ ਸੀ। ਆਓ ਭਗਤ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਚਾਹ ਪਾਣੀ ਵੀ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਆਮਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਤਲਖੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਸੀ। ਰੱਤਾ ਬੂਝ ਹੋਈ ਫਿਰ ਸਮਝੀ ਮੈਂ, ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ, ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਮੀਨਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ। ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਸੱਚ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸੀ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਤੇ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਇੱਕ ਸੈਲਾਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਸੱਜ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਇੱਕ ਬਾਬੇ ਦੀਆਂ ਝੁਰੜੀਆਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਬਾਬਲ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੈ ਮੁਸਕਾ ਰਿਹਾ? ਉਹ ਬਾਬਲ ਜੋ ਦਿਨੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਕਾਲਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਹਾੜ ਦੀ ਗਰਮੀ ਤੇ ਪੋਹ ਦੀ ਸਰਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਚੀਰ ਕੇ ਕਈ ਰਾਤਾਂ ਖੇਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਕੱਟਦਾ ਸੀ। ਜੇ ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਵੇਚ ਦਿਓ, ਬਾਲੀ ਹੀ ਜੱਦੋ ਜਹਿਦ ਹੈ, ਸਿਹਤ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ, ਭੁਰਕ ਕੇ ਅੱਗੋਂ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਸੀ। ਮਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਚ ਦਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਜਦ ਬੀਜ ਖਾਦ ਲਈ ਕੁਝ ਘੱਟ ਪੈਂਦਾ, ਉਹੀ ਮਾਂ ਹੱਸ ਕੇ 2 ਚੂੜੀਆਂ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਕੱਢ ਧਰਦੀ ਸੀ। ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਤੇ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਸੈਲਾਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਸੱਜ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੱਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਖਾਇਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਹਿੱਕਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੱਬੀਆਂ ਹਰ ਕਿੱਲੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਅਣਗਿਣਤ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਹੰਗਾਲ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸਾਡੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਮੁੰਬਈ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋਣ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਨਹਟਨ, ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਰੂਹਾਂ ਦਿਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਤੇ ਚਾਚੇ ਦਾ ਹੱਥ ਫੜ ਪੈਲੀ ਦਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਬਨ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਭੂਆ ਦੇ ਹੱਥ ਦੀ ਭੁਰਜੀ ਚੱਖ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਟਪੂਸੀ ਮਾਰ ਭਰਾ ਨਾਲ ਸਕੂਟਰੀ ਤੇ ਬਹਿ ਟਿਊਬਵੈਲ ਦਾ ਗੇੜਾ ਵੀ ਕੱਢ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਸੈਲਾਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਸੱਜ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਕਿੱਲਿਆਂ, ਵੱਟਾਂ, ਕਚਹਿਰੀਆਂ, ਸ਼ਰੀਕਿਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿਆਰੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਟੱਪ ਕੇ ਭੈਣ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਹੜ ਮੇਰੀ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਹੱਦਾਂ ਤੀਕ ਉਮੜ ਆਇਆ ਹੈ। ਮਾਘ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਰਫੀਲੀਆਂ ਰਾਤਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਲੋਈਆਂ ਤੇ ਚੁੰਨੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਬੁੱਕਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਇਨਕਲਾਬ ਛੁਪਾਈ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੈ। ਕੌਣ ਦਲਿਤ ਹੈ, ਕੌਣ ਜੱਟ ਤੇ ਕੌਣ ਜਾਟ, ਕਿਹੜੀ ਪੰਚਾਇਤ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਖੱਪ, ਕੀ ਸੰਤ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਸੰਗੀਤਕਾਰ, ਕੀ ਕਵੀ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਗੀਤਕਾਰ। ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਪੱਗਾਂ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਸੀ, ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਤੇ ਟੁਕੜੇ ਟੁਕੜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤਗਮਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਹਾਕਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਵਾਜ਼ਿਆ ਸੀ। ਅੱਜ ਲੱਖਾਂ ਸਿਰ ਨੇ ਜੁੜੇ ਪਏ, ਕੈਥਲ, ਕਿਸ਼ਨਗੜ੍ਹ, ਕੇਰਲ, ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ, ਬੋਸਟਨ, ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ, ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ। ਸੱਚ ਦਾ ਅਪਹਰਨ ਇਸ ਵਾਰ ਨਾਮੁਮਕਿਨ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਰਸਾਲੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਝੂਠ ਦੀਆਂ ਹਵਾਈ ਕੰਧਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਇੱਕ ਕਰਕੇ ਢਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਸਿਆਸਤਦਾਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਪੂੰਜੀਵਾਦੀਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੁੱਝੀਆਂ ਸਾਜ਼ਿਸ਼ਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਖੌਟੇ ਲਾਹ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਤੇ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਸੈਲਾਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਸੱਜ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਹ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਟੜਵਾਦੀ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਵੀ ਕੱਢੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਟੜਵਾਦੀ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਵੀ ਕੱਢੇ, ਸੱਭੇ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਵਾਲ ਸਦਾਇਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਿਵਾਇਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਖੇਰੂ ਖੇਰੂ ਵੀ ਸੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਹਾਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀਆਂ ਤੱਕ ਚੁਣ ਚੁਣ ਕੇ ਕੌਮਾਂ ਤੇ ਸੀ ਮੜ ਰਹੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਖੇੜੂ ਤੇ ਕਸੈਲੀਆਂ ਰੁੱਤਾਂ ਚਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਰਹੋ। ਅਸੀਂ ਏਕ ਨੂਰ ਤੇ ਸਭ ਜਗ ਉਪਜਿਆ, ਕੌਣ ਭਲੇ ਕੌਣ ਮੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਏਕਾ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਕੜਾ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਵਾਂਗ ਵਰਤਾਂਦੇ ਰਹਾਂਗੇ। ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਸੈਲਾਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਜੋ ਹਲੀਮੀ ਤੇ ਸਬਰ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਅਨੋਖੀ ਮਿਸਾਲ ਕਾਇਮ ਹੈ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੀ ਕੁੱਖ ਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਇਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੁੱਠੀ ਸੁੱਥਣ ਗੱਲ ਪਾ ਲਈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਸੈਲੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਤੇ ਕਾਲੀਆਂ ਨੀਅਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਟਿੱਡੀ ਦਲ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੀਆਂ ਜੜਾਂ ਤੇ ਛੱਡਦੇ ਰਹੋ। ਅਸੀਂ ਹੌਸਲੇ ਠਰਮੇ ਤੇ ਏਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਇੱਕ ਫੁੱਲ ਬਚਾ ਲਾਂਗੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਦੇ ਕੁਰਕੀਆਂ, ਕਦੀ ਪੋਚੇ ਤੇ ਕਦੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਦਾਨੀ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਰਹੋ। ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦੋਲਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਧਰੂ ਤਾਰਾ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਚਮਕਣਗੇ। ਮਾਘ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਾਲੀਆਂ ਰਾਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਦਾ ਜਲਦ ਹੀ ਡਲਕਾ ਮਾਰੇਗਾ। ਭੁੱਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੋਧ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਪਾਪਾਂ ਦਾ ਘੜਾ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਹਾਂ, ਪਗੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਸੰਭਲੇਗੀ। ਪਗੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਸੈਲਾਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਸੱਜ ਗਿਆ। ਇੱਕ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਸੈਲਾਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਸੱਜ ਗਿਆ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ।
That cheered me up totally. ਬਹੁਤ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਭਾਗ ਲਾਵੇ, ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਦੇਵੇ ਬੀਬਾ ਜੀ।
Thank you so much, Lily. That means so much coming from you.
It summed it all up for me. It was so beautiful.
I think Plus, the writing pain is that it is 10 months and still they are unheard and still they are ignored. So,
from the heart.
yeah, this is something I think I every time I recite it, I think writing it was like meeting all of them who I had lost years back one more time. And I think I owed that to them all.
True.
And thank you for allowing me to do it.
Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Jasmine, thank you so much. I'm not sure if you could read the comments in the chat box, but Nishit said, I don't have words to express how much your poem moved me. And I echo the same thought. I've got goose flesh.
Thank you.
There was this thing you said about how Andolan's going to shine like stars in the firmament of our sky. Absolutely, 100%. And what a powerful note again, with which we can bring this evening to a wrap, so to speak. To go back to the words of the poet, will there be singing in the dark times? There will be singing in the dark times. There will be songs about the dark times. So thank you, all of you, for writing these songs.
Would like to read?
Yes.
Priyal, Panchal. Priyal?
Yes, of course.
Priyal, would you like to read?
Yeah, a quick short one, if there's time.
Yes, Priyal, absolutely. No, that's quite all right. Priyal, please. And the thing with technology is I can only see a few people on the screen. I can't see everyone. I'm so sorry.
No,
Priyal, please. Go ahead, please, Priyal.
Thank you so much. Actually, I was scheduled for 14, but couldn't make it. And it's so sweet, Smita Day, to, fit me in here. Thank you so much. And it's great to be reading on this very special, lineup where such esteemed poets are reading, and we're celebrating 5 years of B. So, and Smita Day is now like a mother of two, there's a sibling of B. We have Yugen Quest, the journal, and it's wonderful. So happy to see the journey that B is taking and to be a little part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would read a very short and quick one. It's called Transcending Theories. Discarding daily ritualistic practices, courageously chanting pragmatic didactics, this wandering monkey mind jumping from tree to tree of thought-tiring theories, when relishes relief in a rare pose, is indeed falling prey to the joy of praying, surrenders to a momentary ecstasy, eating a fruit of joy in ephemeral poise, without shattering mind's noise, an epiphany hidden in ritualistic practices rare, when the soul sheds layer after layer to meet the spiritual master seated at the core of the Omni self-soul. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyal. Thank you also for being able to make it today. We did miss you on the 14th and really glad that we could hear you today. And thanks for staying with us. We also have Amrita ji and Kavita ji with us, who've been in the audience throughout. And of course, we'll be sharing a recording of this evening with our larger Women Empowered family. But thank you to both of you for being with us today live while we were reading. Every poet needs a reader and every performer needs an audience. We're very, very grateful to you. Over to you, Smita. Quick final words before we bring this evening to a wrap. Smita, you're on mute.
Okay, so first of all, Urni, a million thanks and 3 cheers to you for being such an amazing, amazing compere for the evening and making everybody feel at home, and for that gorgeous performance and poetry that you did. It was like something out of a movie. Seriously. And that Bengali, I can't wrap my head around it yet. And of course, all the other performers also. There were terrific people this evening, and it's been an honor for me to have as a host. cast and my favorite people here, all of them together. And Nishat, to see Nishat and Taseer, you know, here in the same frame, like, you know, it's a dream come true. Not only that, along with all the very special poets reading this evening, there were new joinees who stayed till the last. I don't even know them. I just sent an invite in the afternoon and they were here right till the end. Even now they are there. And when we started, Vinita Agarwal was there. And in the first session, all the people who had started off V in 2016 in September, they were there, quite a few of them. Priya Sarukai Chabria could not join because she's hurt her hand, but she sent her best wishes. And Taseer had come in September 2016. That was the first time we met. Amazing. So this, and you know what, with the pandemic and all, I had not kept count. Literally after 2018, I had forgotten about we, you know, when it was started. While doing the Yugen invitations, it suddenly struck me it's 5 years. So I put that in the last moment, you know, and I'm so glad it worked out. I don't have words now. I'm really very emotional. So don't expect rational stuff from me. It's an extremely happy moment, and with all the friends and with all my favorite poets in front. So, and that's what makes we. I mean, I'm not we. It's all we, right? I'm wondering whether Nishat, Taseer would like to say something.
I'm so moved. They say that poetry, you know, it changes the world. I mean, we look forward to the change. You've inspired us, and I feel so pygmy surrounded by such versatile poets and performances. And as Arnold said, you know, the only thing that will provide sakar, true sakar and consolation in the world, in the contemporary world when religion has failed us, is poetry. So let's hope that poetry brings that change and brings us the consolation in the midst of all this madness that we are surrounded in. Thank you.
Thank you, Nisha. Taseer, it's so wonderful to see you. I can't tell you how glad I am that you could attend today, this evening. I think you're mute. Unmute.
I said I concur with what Nishat said, and it's such a pleasure to be here. And Smita, all kudos to you. You know, you are the person behind the whole initiative, and the way you kept it afloat, it's admirable. And you give all of us a lot of strength also. Thank you. Thank you for the whole effort of keeping this beautiful body, you know, afloat. Thanks.
Like this makes it also worthwhile. And lastly, I'll invite Lily, who flies with us in the Poetry Writing Month, and we all literally soaring in the skies with our imagination and our words, and she literally keeps us flying, and she's the plow behind that Poetry Month. Lily, would you say something?
I want to tell you that, you know, there used to be this Saheli culture, Sakhi culture, which was very important when the world was secluded and women were in the zanana. So this has, I am again feeling that kinship, you know, that camaraderie, that kindred soul thing with all of us. We are perhaps kindred souls. That is why we are together in this group.
Yes.
You know, we speak with our hearts and souls. We are, we say something and yet we keep something inside. We're all very alike. So I want all of us to understand how powerful it is when women are together. Yes. You know, women together is like, you know, to Krishan ji, when he went away, the Sakhis were telling Udho, ke Udho manna bahe 10-20, ek tha so cham sang sidharo. So let us not let our hearts go away ever. Let's keep the purity. Let's keep it glistening. Let's keep rubbing and polishing ourselves so that we become who we are actually meant to be. Let's not let ourselves rot away. Let nothing keep us down. And all of us here, I think most of us here will go to prove that that is what we are. We rise, we shine, we keep the you know, the banners flying. And thank you, Smita, for letting us be here. We love you, and we love your generosity of heart, the way you keep, you know, pushing us to our, betterness and, to do better and better. And a big hug to all of you here, a communal hug, the kind that people give in the cricket field, all of you. Love you all. Keep shining. Keep
Love
rising.
you, Lily. And, growing and evolving reminds me that Gayatri, and all of us do it, of course, but Gayatri is now earning a PhD in English from English literature from the Bombay University, right, Gayatri?
So I've done I just finished with my MA. I just finished with the master's. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but the PhD is something I want to pursue soon.
Imagine, amazing. And you've also been right from the start.
Yes, of course. When we started, it was just like a, like a dream. And now to see it in, in fruition and for 5 years, it's a lovely journey. And I'm so happy to be here with you, Smita. You do such incredible work, and I hope you keep doing it. And we're all part of this tribe, and we're together.
Yes.
Thank you, Ji. Amrita, would you like to say anything?
Just thank you. Just it was lovely. I'm not really very used to all these meetings, so I just came for the poetry. I got really carried away. Each and every poet was different. And all the poems, they were very meaningful. So carried away a lot today. Thanks, Nita. Like, it's wonderful of you, the way you included, I'm not part of this scene, so very grateful to you.
And thank you to our special gifted poets. Both are here in the same frame, Jaguri and Rukhaya. And Jaguri is here with all her, she's not feeling too well. And I'm so glad you could stay right till the end, Jaguri. That's really wonderful of you. Not just to have participated, but to have listened to us all.
Thank you so much, Smita. I wouldn't have missed it for anything.
And Rukhya, of course, your poetry is very startling, extremely startling.
Thank you so much, Smita. And thank you so much for building up such a huge platform. You're a role model for all of us, the way you work, so enterprising.
It's true.
Urni, I think you should have the final word. Wrap it up.
Can she sing? That was so good. That was so good.
Thank you so much, Amrita ji. Also, you
don't need to call me G. I'm not used to that.
Great,
Amrita.
Amrita.
I should, because I'm new here, so I did call a few people, I think, Abhaji especially, so not necessary for me. I'm very casual.
And now you're a part of this coven that we've
Thank
built,
you. Thank you for
echoing everything that the others have said. Smita, obviously, thank you for the work that you're doing at Women Empowered and at Yugen Quest Review. But most importantly, thank you for creating this space for us, a safe space where all of us can gather every once in a while and share. Women are mostly expected to stay quiet and let words, we keep mining the words within. So thank you for giving us this space and this platform for everyone who's going to be reading later in the evening, later tonight or tomorrow. Please visit the Yugen Quest Review website. We have more issues lined up. Keep writing, keep reading, keep supporting good art. Thank you so much and good night from us.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye-bye. See you.
Meet
Bye-bye.
Adi.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.